Okay, so elsewhere in this Instructable, you're going to see me use this white PVC template called Template2, and here it's showing it in blue. But basically what this image does, this 3D version, is going to show the various locations where that same template can be used. It's the same template no matter what. It's just a matter of the holes that are in it. I'll try to hide something here. Okay, I can hide. There. Now I'm hiding the various parts that it's going to connect to, right? And then here's the template in all those different locations. So what it comes down to is to make it fit on tray number 3 up here at the top, to use it on tray number 2, and then to use it on tray number 1, and even on the back and the front down here. I'll just Control Z those back. I'll bring those back. Okay. And then what you have here is, so for instance, up here on tray number 3, which we're not going to use it for on this, but just want to show you that tray number 3, the template is not used on the top of the tray. It's actually used from underneath. So then where we're going to use it, or can use it, the most common use is going to be down here, and we would place it. You can see the template here, and then the edge of the template lines up with the edges of the wood, which is kind of rare for me. I usually like to go to a peg of some sort. Number one, the peg holds it in place, but number two is the accuracy comes from the distance between those two pegs rather than depending on the cut of the board. It's hard to explain. Anyhow, hopefully that makes sense. But what would happen is then back here, a piece of plywood goes in there, a 1/4 inch plywood. That'll bump up to the back of tray 1. And then by doing that, what's going to happen here, I'll try to hide this. Okay, you can see that there's some dimples there, or excuse me, some 1/4 inch holes. And that's where we're going to use the hinge bit. And I'll go back. When a hinge bit is put in there, it'll make a dimple in all 3 of those holes. And then that allows you to make the dimples, and then from there, it'll be a drill press. The same thing here in the front. And I'll go to the back as well, but there's going to be a dimple here as well. Again, I'll hide that. Okay, if you can see, there's a whole 1/4 inch hole there. There's a 1/4 inch here, another one here, and what happens there is that becomes in our joinery to connect to send the GRKs through. So there's the GRKs attaching tray 1 down to the back and to the front. Get an idea how that's working. It's a lot easier if I hide that in there. Okay, so now you can see those GRKs, and they're coming through. Now we've got a couple more GRKs. We have some that are going to go from the back and the front into the riser. So for that, we're going to use these 2 holes here. So again, we're using the same template, but notice this down here. It's going to butt up to, and this would be done before you do the assembly. So this would be on a tabletop or something like that. I just want to show it in perspective here. But it's going to be the 1/4 inch plywood that goes in here. Again, the edge lines up here, the edge lines up here. Once that's done, then a hinge bit would use to dimple that hole, down here, and down here. Okay, so that's how that would get used. And then let's just look at if we were going to be using this on tray 2. There's going to be some holes there for the joinery here, and that's going to take us to the risers and the threaded tenons that go there. So again, I didn't want to get into too much depth on this. It's better just to look at the video, and then you'd have to be, using the template, have access to the template, or you have to have a CNC machine to make your own templates on those anyhow. So that's how that would be, how template number 2 would be used in various locations.